Wait, isn't everybody at war over atheism?
Atheism? No, we've learned to get rid of all the isms in our time. Yes, long ago we realized isms are great for those who are rational, but in the hands of irrational people, isms always lead to violence.
Hey guys! See, I'm trying to start my episodes more like Daniel, so I'm trying to do the whole wow, I'm so excited to see you guys. How's it going? If you have heard of this, if you're listening to this, it's probably because you already know something of me. You've heard me on the You, Me, and BTC podcast that I do with Daniel Brown and Zach Vole. You can check both of them out. Get them on Twitter, same place. I was about to say the same place you get me. I don't know what that means. It's just on Twitter because we all use it. This is already starting out badly, and this is exactly why I don't get super excited anyway, because then I have to base it against what is happening right now, which doesn't really follow with a super excited beginning. Well, that was an interesting weekend. At least I have some stuff to talk about. I want to make a disclaimer right at the beginning. No matter what I say, and I'm just mostly doing this so that I have no moral compunction for this episode. No matter what I say, it is no worse and no better than any other kind of representation of the news or anything that happens. No matter what level of respect I treat something with, I am still doing the same kind of whoring out of tragedy that every single news station does. So I guess it makes me feel a little bit better. It makes me feel like a news station. I hope you do come to this. Seeing as how I'm already a minute in, I hope that you come to the Tim's 2 Cents podcast for all your news. This is a terrible intro. I do apologize. Although this is barely even the intro anymore. This is pretty much the show if you haven't heard this before. Like I said, you've probably come to this from the You, Me, and BTC show. If you want to follow Daniel Brown, who is if you have listened to those before, he's the main guy. He's the one with the real squeaky voice at the beginning. You can follow him on Twitter I was about to say at Baker's Dozen. That's me. Baker's Dozen 93 is me, Tim, the creator of this mess right now. You can get Daniel at You, Me, and BTC, and then you can get Zach Vole at Zach Vole, spelled with a CK or CH. I'm sorry, ZACHVOELL on Twitter. You can get him on that. Zach also does his own show on our little network thing that we have, and that's called the Coin Pod. Zach does a good job with doing interviews with other people. If you want to have a podcast that actually has something to do with cryptocurrency, or even tries to give you answers to questions instead of just babbling at you, definitely check him out. He always has good guests on. He has good discussions. Zach's real good at making up questions. I don't know if I meant to say it that negative. He's good at making up shit. But no, he's good. And then we also have another show on our network thing called Unpopular Opinions. I did finally figure out the second guy's name. It's Ryan and Brian. I wish I'd figured that out before. That would have been much easier than kind of stumbling over Ryan and that other guy. But their show has nothing to do with cryptocurrency. It's pretty much them talking. It's a video show, so you can watch it on YouTube. And they talk about all kinds of stuff, wrestling, old video games, stuff like that. If you want to... Although they also do like current events too, so maybe they'll bring up cryptocurrency at some point. I'm sure they've mentioned it at least. Anybody that has to deal with Daniel at least has a cursory knowledge of it. But check them out too. Let them know you're following them. And then, like I said, the You, Me, and BTC show is kind of our flagship. We do a live show every Thursday night at 9 p.m. Eastern. Come get us in the chat there. You can get involved. We'll probably read your chat. We had somebody complaining about something with a Pringles can that I will not mention on this show because I have too high of standards, and I will not allow that smut on this episode. But no, the chat's normally fun. It is crypto-centric. We talk about some philosophy stuff too. That sounds kind of high-minded, but that's basically what it's more just discussion. It's a hangout. And it's conversation. So it's not this where I'm just going to yell at you for a while. I think that's pretty much all I have for an intro. I wrote some stuff down this week, but not nearly enough. As usual, I write things down and then spend... Normally, I'd like try to figure out something and then go to the gym. Today, I figured out something, went to the gym, hurt myself, and now I'm just angry. I was going to have a little bit more of sympathy for everything that happened over the weekend, but now because I'm injured, kind of, I feel entitled to just be as mean as I can about everything. I guess, like, this is one vindication for me, and I do have to take this, and this is where it's going to start getting a little bit iffy. I have been saying this, do not play video games, regardless. I mean, it has in the past been it's a time trap, but now, it's also just a regular life trap. It's literally a honeypot for shooters. What's strange, I kind of know, and obviously I'm talking about the Florida shooting. I forget exactly where it was. I meant to not even see a picture of the kid because I was like, I meant to not even see a picture of the shooter because I was just gonna be like, I'm not gonna give him the satisfaction of me knowing what he looks like. Then I did, and I was like, okay, that makes sense. He kind of looks like what you'd expect. They always it's something in the eyes, and maybe this is also true. This is probably also true just for people that are competitive, because it turns like he was a competitor. I guess he had won some Madden tournaments. That's also what makes this whole story a little bit more cringe-inducing. Although I don't know, I can't say. I wish I could say I've never gotten into sports, for sports video games. For a while, I had FIFA. I had NHL. I never got into Madden. The only Madden games I've actually played have been the old, like, 97 on, like, a Genesis. My grandparents had a Sega Genesis, and I spent pretty much almost every day there. So I'd play, like, Madden 95, Madden 97, and that was about all I could grasp. You didn't really have to actually choose plays. You could just give it to one guy and then just have him sprint. You could kind of just dodge around the terrible AI. So it wasn't really that fair. I'd win like 60-7, but it was good for building up my terrible self-esteem then. But I've played Madden since. I had no idea what I was doing. I was pretty fucked up when it was happening. I didn't really get a grasp of why exactly people play it. Although I forget, I didn't play Madden. I played like an NCAA video game on an old PS2, and I don't really know why. I just bought it and then got super into like a career mode where I wanted to have that college experience just through a PS2 and its shitty graphics. But my experience was just making the ultimate player with all like the top stats and then just crushing everybody in college, causing. I think I just caused injuries in every single tackle he made, and I had him on offense and defense. Offense, he'd just run through people, blast through them, and then defense, he would just literally break every single person's spine. So that was fun for I was younger then. I was probably like 15-year-old Tim, just like causing life-altering injuries on a college football field. But back to this. Maybe it's just the piercing eyes kind of thing. Although there's this mix with a lot of these shooters where there's this, and maybe this is also because it's normally like a mugshot. So I guess probably people look a little bit different then. But it's like these piercing eyes, and then at the same time they're kind of like glazed over, and you're like, maybe there's something going. Like they look very intent. But it's almost like nothing's going on behind them. They're just seeing something in front of them, and then like the fucking music from Kill Bill is playing. They're wow, 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 and he goes, "Fuck these people." I don't know. Like you almost can have sometimes like a sympathy with a kid if he's bullied in school, and people just keep bothering, picking on him, calling him things. And what? You're like 16. You're like, no, fuck this. I'm just gonna kill. Like, you can almost understand it. I think this dude was 21 or something. I'm not gonna follow. I'll talk about this in a second. Actually, I'll push that away. But I think this dude was like 21. He was from Baltimore, and he bought the handguns legally. So this was a handgun shooting. That's probably why only 2 people died. That's, I don't know, like, it's better than the fucking, what was it, the Pulse nightclub shooting. That was with a assault rifle. But there's always just, there's something in these guys' eyes where, and maybe it is just that I'm looking at something, most people, you look at them, and even if they're angry, they still have, like, someone in control behind there. But then these guys, something has made them go, fuck it, I don't care anymore. Something has made them go against what like millions of other people every single day. Just because, like, in this situation, like I was saying, in a school with like a younger kid, you can maybe understand it. This is literally just a guy that got pissed off because he lost in a fucking game tournament and decided to walk out and then come back in with 2 handguns and just start shooting at people because he lost Madden. Like, I could even maybe understand this more if it was online. Like, if he lost to some dude and some dude was just trash talking him online and he somehow got the guy's address, drove over and shot him. But no, this, like, maybe there was trash talking. I would figure at a tournament like this, they'd be in different booths or something. But this guy was just so angry at having lost a video game that he wanted to kill somebody. And, like, I can understand the getting angry. I don't understand the shooting. I've gotten pretty pissed at people. I don't know. I've never been. This is a detriment. I've tried to actually work on this and be more of a douchebag about competing with stuff. But I'm not. So like if we're playing a video game, if we're playing, God, if it's something like basketball, I will not care. Like I'll play, but like I've lost to 12-year-olds at basketball. Like it's terrible. It's really bad. So I think it's kind of just a defensive mechanism where I just go, nah, fuck it. I'm not going to be competitive because it's not going to turn out well. But I can understand the getting angry and being like, oh, I'm going to kill this. But then you have that part of your brain that goes, yeah, but then you're going to have to kill yourself. Like then that normally kind of shuts it back off. I think that's what, like people get angry all the time. People get pissed off. People like have that instinct. What? You made me lose? Like, maybe that's even a biological thing in us of just, you're causing me to fail. Maybe I should just smash you. I mean, we're not that far removed from just doing that. Like, that was a much more common thing even just 100 years ago. So I can kind of get it, but it's just what happened to him that made him not care. And I have a few theories, which I'll go into. But that's mostly my question with this episode is just like, what made you go, no, fuck it. This is worth dying over. Because the way it seemed him coming back in, he kind of had to have made the decision of, I'm just going to go in, shoot, and then kill myself. Like, you're not going to get out of that very well. And maybe he was planning it. I don't know. So far, the only things I've looked at so far, I think they're saying that he didn't plan it. Who knows if that's true or not. But on to why. Well, one, like I said, this is Florida, so shit like this or similar seems to happen all the time there. And he is from Baltimore, and you put Baltimore's gun crime rate, and then you send it to Florida, and I don't understand how this hasn't happened before. I mean, fucking Florida, besides all the weird shit that people do, they have algae just in their water trying to kill them now. So maybe that's what happened. Maybe he got, this would be like horror movie algae stuff. No, now I'm starting to, I would not mind turning this show into like an Alex Jones thing where I just start making up the just random conspiracies about why this happened. I'll be like, well, that's what we should, it's the reason why there's all the shooters is because of the, it's because of the fluoride in the water, and then now it's because of the algae in the water. But no, like, Florida's going through some shit right now. Florida always seems like it's going through some shit. So, it's, you don't want to expect something like this, but whenever they tell you, it's like people are like, how could this happen? I'm like, somebody got stabbed for doing, like, stealing a loaf of bread or something the other day. I think I tried looking up news. I was going to look up Florida news stuff, and then I didn't feel like clicking on any links because the only stuff that was coming up at first was about the shooting, and then I was like, I don't really want to put that much effort into this. But suffice to say, no matter, this is what I'll use to prove for you. No matter when you're listening to this episode, whether it's tomorrow, this should be coming out on a Monday, or maybe you're listening to this in a year. If you look up the news in Florida, you will still see shit and be like, oh yeah, okay, I can see somebody shooting somebody over a Madden tournament. It's not that far out of my mind with all these other stories you're looking at. And then, like I said, also, then you have Baltimore. I have had the it wasn't always bad because my family didn't really believe in vacations. My yearly vacation, and no, we didn't even do part of this every single year. But for some of the years, we would we'd have 2 vacations where one that we'd go spend a day in Kennywood, which is just Pittsburgh's version of a shitty, amusement park. Some people like it. I feel like it's the same thing with a lot of other stuff in Pittsburgh where it's just like, oh, I like it because it's around here. But yeah, put more French fries on my sandwich. Now I'm making jokes 2 podcasts in a row. It doesn't really work. But some people like it. I'm not huge on amusement parks. I don't really like roller coasters. I'm not particularly into going, oh, let me act like I'm falling, but not do it. Whatever. Never. I was about to say if you like them, that's okay. But no, fuck you if you like roller coasters. I'll make that stand for this episode. Fuck you if you like roller coasters. Give up. No. But besides going to Kennywood, it was either Kennywood or Sandcastle, not every single year. The yearly vacation was a 6-hour drive to Baltimore, Maryland, where then we stayed over Labor Day weekend with my cousins, and I got to go from a low-income area of Pittsburgh to a low-income version of Baltimore, which is, make of that what you will. It amps things up a little bit. There's a few more gunshots, and there's a few more, why is that man driving so fast? Oh, wait, there's police behind him. So again, you mix Baltimore and Florida. This was maybe the best case scenario that was going to come out of that. Like, I don't know exactly what we were hoping for. As I was saying, Baltimore wasn't bad. I never had any problems. Nobody ever bothered me. I actually enjoyed it, mostly because I was a little kid and I liked car rides and I liked bothering my parents about pissing all the time. No, but I liked Baltimore. It wasn't terrible, but yeah, they have a certain what's the word I'm looking for? They have a notoriety for gun crime. So if you take like some disgruntled Madden playing white kid, 21-year-old white kid, and send him, he bought the guns up in Maryland, drove down with them. He brought 2 of them, so I guess he was planning on going akimbo and defend. Like, if someone pulled him over and he was like, well, they're both for self-defense, I wonder if he was wearing both of them or just carrying one of them. But yeah, and stuff happens. I feel bad, I guess, for the families. I feel bad for the families more that, like, they're going to have to invite people to funerals and stuff like that and be like, yeah, he was killed after winning a Madden game. Like, I don't want to be super, super mean here, but if I was going to the funeral, there is part of me that just goes, what? Like, there has to be somebody that just goes, like, it's going to be in the back of people's minds just at the thing, and I feel bad for the family because they're going to have it. Even if somehow nobody does have it in their minds, the parents at least are going to think about it, and I do feel bad for them. I feel bad for now every single news site is going to be going, oh, what do you think about this, and what do you think about that? And there were plenty of people already on Twitter, like, direct messaging the victims who were injured. I'm sure the victims who got shot and killed were being direct messaged. And people were like, can I get a story from you? Can I get a story from you? Like, at least I might be making fun of you, but I wasn't, as soon as it happened, like, hey, guess what? You got shot over a Madden thing. These people are just like, hey, can I have a story? Hey. Like, yeah, I get that you have to do a job and it's not really any different than what people used to do. It just makes it a little bit tackier now that it's on Twitter. I don't really know what else to say about that besides, this is just another reason. Don't play video games. Especially don't play video games in public spaces with other people who play video games professionally. Maybe if you're going to play video games professionally, play something like StarCraft 2. I don't play it. I think it's dumb, but at least there is like a built up thing. There's probably going to be better security at it. Don't go fucking play Madden, or at least, I guess if he got in there, there wasn't any security, so maybe you should be strapped at a Madden tournament. I don't really know. It's kind of weird to think about. I was just looking at pictures of like survivors in the hospital, and there's like the mayor is walking around like shaking their hand. And so what do you think the aide, like the mayor's aide, had to come in and be like, sir, you have to go, symbolically, you're just like kissing baby heads. Like you're just doing something. It is political. It's showing a little bit of humanity. People are like, oh, he's a good guy. But you have to go do this because some people got shot at a Madden tournament. And he's like, are you fucking kidding me? I just had you motherfuckers leave so that you could play Madden. Everybody took a day off. This is bullshit. But who knows? Like I said, it's not a shitty way to, I guess if they won, especially if it's a tournament, they did at least achieve something. They're achieving more than I am. At least they won something. I didn't have the greatest podcast. That would be, at the end of this podcast, if I get killed, this podcast is going to be the greatest podcast ever, and it better be. And if anybody who's listening who then later hears about my death, make sure you save this on your phone, tell everybody about it, send it around. This is my death podcast. But yeah, no. If you want, I guess you can go on Twitter and say like your thoughts and prayers are out to the family, or you can leave them alone. Maybe talk to, like, this is with everything that happens with this. If you know somebody who maybe has some issues, who's maybe like, if I don't win this game, I'm going to kill myself. Maybe talk to them. If not, I don't know. It does get into weird things when you start talking about like ratting on people with stuff like this. Like if someone's like, yeah, this is stupid. I might as well kill someone. Like, you don't want to just call the police and be like, hello, especially if you know the person, because then if it doesn't happen, like how the police seem to all the time where they talk to somebody and they're like, no, he's good. And then now you pissed off the guy who might be going to kill somebody. So I understand that, but try to talk to the people around you, I guess, if for no other reason than just to make yourself safe. It doesn't have to be like anytime I'm out in public, if I'm standing around someplace, I'm standing in a store, if I'm waiting someplace, I make sure to talk to the motherfuckers around me, because I'm like, all right, which one of these guys are crazy? Who might snap at this point if we're just standing here for too long? Who's going to freak out because they're having to wait too long to check out at Aldi's or something like that? So talk to people if for no other reason than just for your own personal safety. Besides that, the other thing that happened, John McCain died. It kind of seemed like it's been a long time coming. It feels like it's been a while since they announced that he's had brain cancer. I know it wasn't until like last week that he said something about, going off of something that was keeping him alive. I don't even know it wasn't a ventilator, but it was some kind of treatment that was helping him stay alive. But I kind of already figured it was pretty bad. You don't really get better whenever you're 81. You can. I guess that's not the best. That's not the best way. I don't want to tell anybody who has like an 84-year-old grandmother, grandfather, or somebody in their life who's like has cancer now. Well, it never gets better. But there's a difference. There's a little bit of a difference between someone who's 40 and has cancer and somebody who's 82 and has, especially brain cancer. There is something of this is kind of, it's at least it waited till now. Maybe you were going to be going out at this time anyway. But I made a tweet about it. Nobody really liked it besides one person I know in person. That was like, it was a pity. Like I get a lot of those from people I know. But a lot of people, whenever people started coming out after he had died, of course, everybody has to make their own little opinion about it. Whether it's every single every single politician, like, he was a wonderful safeguard of freedom and privacy and the American spirit. He was amazing. And everyone's just tearing up on their keyboards, and I just wish he could have been with us longer to spread more freedom and to uphold the credos and the states and everything that we stand for here in America and everything that we put all of our hard work into. It's just these just words that mean nothing. And it's like, yeah, all right, you work with the guy, but is this, I guess it helps him get votes from somebody. I've seen like a couple normal people being like, yep, no, he was great. But it's either that, it's either the, he was amazing, or it's the, Gray's dead. And you do get the people who, like, if people are outside, if it's like socialists or change, yay, McCain is dead, McCain is dead. People are like, this is ridiculous. How dare they attack them? But then people did it with, fucking, Castro. I would put McCain up there with Castro as far as being a fucked up guy. Maybe he didn't murder as many people, but he came close. They both did some pretty shitty stuff. So I don't get the out and out just beloved like worship of it. I get it because it's like everything in politics is a business and it's all this bullshit. But also I don't really get the people who are gay's dead. Fuck this guy. Like I get the sentiment, and I feel like if I was 12, I'd be also saying things like that. But this isn't a respect of the dead thing. This is the guy was shot down in Vietnam and tortured and kept in with a POW camp or a prisoner. He was a prisoner for like 5 years or something. His face got all fucked up. It's like paralyzed. They did all kinds of shit to him, and then we're like, yep, no, this man should have been a stand-up citizen. Like, these are the stupid things that war movies and this shit do to us, where we go, yeah, no, a guy who's tortured and physically, mentally, spiritually, even at that point, like, if you're just kept in captivity for that long, you can have shit just break down on you. Like, I would not be surprised if someone's going to critique John McCain of being heartless and a fucking bastard and not giving a fuck about other people's lives, I would say there's some pretty good reasons as to why he's like that. It doesn't make it good what he's doing, but if I get dumped over in Vietnam in a prisoner of war camp, and I come back over and they go, hey, you want to run some shit, maybe fuck up some people, make some money, get real powerful, I'd be like, fuck yeah, fuck this world. Why? Like, of course you're going to do that. Of course you're not going to give a fuck about just making random deals in between people that were sometimes fighting and sometimes not. Like, morality means nothing to you. I would challenge any of us after a year of being in captivity anywhere, not even being tortured. You start to lose some of your moral high ground. You start to go, maybe I don't really give a shit anymore. I just want to be able to eat now. I don't ever want that to happen to me again. And then 5 years of getting tortured, and then you're going to go, yep, no, I'm still going to have some real stand-up values. No, that's what we're talking. That's when we're talking like that will turn you into a sociopath. That will turn you, like, that breaks your mind. It has to. But then it makes you a perfect politician. And I would say, like, at least, like, Hillary and Trump and all these they're just like this because they're pieces of shit automatically. McCain was already bombing people, and he was already killing people. He was already murdering people. But at least he could go, oh, no, I'm in a plane, I'm doing it. Now, later in his life, he was just orchestrating it. Before he was following orders, he wasn't looking people in the eye and shooting them. He was just dropping bombs. But if you want to make a politician, you want to make a neocon politician. Like, John McCain wasn't just a politician. John McCain was a motherfucker of a politician. He did some shit. If nothing, he was just like a crime boss. That's what these guys are, and that's what he was. And I think you do have to have a little bit of respect just for what turns you into that. What really makes you change into someone who doesn't give a fuck anymore. And you can, I don't know. I don't want to say you can take, this is hard to make any kind of advice about, but I guess in your chosen, whatever you want to do, maybe let's not give as much of a fuck. I'm trying to tie in some messages where there probably aren't any, but I'll tie it in before I forget about it. Like, there's something maybe good in this. I guess this ties back into what I was saying about the eyes before, and the shooter's eyes. Like, that same intensity in their eyes that you see, but they're normally glazed over. You see that intensity in people who are winners and everything like that. And if you kind of do have to adapt a little bit of a I don't give a shit about my feelings attitude, I think, to succeed and stuff. You can't go this far, whether that's shooting a bunch of people after you lose, or like John McCain, where you basically do the same thing, where you just go, I lost for 5 years, fuck this world. So I can understand where he's coming from. I can understand pretty much anything you do after that. Again, I'm not going to defend it. I'm not going to say he was a hero. He wasn't really. He wasn't a shining example of freedom or really anything. If anything, it made a lot of people not, he had that built-in sad story that he could just sell to people, where people are like, yeah, he did do some weird dealings with a bunch of people during a bunch of different wars, but he was tortured for 5 years and he has that scar. So you gotta let him alone. Don't make fun of him. I don't think that. Yeah, make fun of his dumb face where it was stuck like that, and he was just like, yeah, we're just gonna bomb everybody. Bomb, 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 bomb. But at the same time, remember that we are products of our environment. We're products of the experiences we have, and the kind of experiences he went through tend to change people and tend to make them, they tend to wipe away a little bit more of what we consider to be higher morals, to the point where you go, I don't really care anymore. I don't really know what else to go with that. I think, like I said, if you can find a way to not, like, there's all the hokey, like, books where, like, the subtle art of not giving a fuck. And I like swearing as much as the next person. I am getting kind of tired of it just being like, I get not annoyed. I'm not like, why the fuck do you have that? But people who have shirts with obscenities, or it's on like their car, I'm just like, this is so tacky. What are we, 12? Like, cool, because I have the F word on my, or the stuff like that. It's just kind of tacky. It's a little bit weird. But at the same time, it is probably, if you want to succeed at something, if you want to just put your head down and work on something, you have to not give a fuck about it. You have to not give a fuck about what other people think about it. You have to not give a fuck about what you think about it, because especially if you're starting, and I'm still just stuck in this, is you're not going to know what's good. You just need to keep doing it and keep doing it until you can figure out what you're good at. And maybe you never do, but you could at least get better at it. Maybe you get, if nothing, you can just practice. There's a lot more practice involved, I think, with getting good at stuff than a lot of people give credit. We like to think, oh, that person has talent, that person has whatever. But a lot of it is just practicing it a lot. I'm sure there is talent, but a lot of people get better at something more because they have an affinity for it than because, I don't know, maybe affinity is the same word. I'm using that as people get better at something because they're drawn to it in the first place. Maybe they have a little bit of talent. It lets them get good at it. So they're a little bit, you have that kind of, that reward system built in where you get real good at it a lot quicker. It makes you feel good. But getting better at anything is always just kind of getting better, then shitting the bed at a new level, then getting better to where you're confident there, then shitting the bed at a new level, then just kind of getting worse as you get better. That's, I think, what getting good at something is. Hopefully that's what I'm doing in this podcast. I hope you guys liked it. Send money to me, not any to Daniel. There's going to be a tip thing at the bottom of this, so wherever you listen to it, please follow me again on Twitter at Baker's Dozen. You'll have the occasional witty thing. I need more people to like my thing so I feel better about myself. And if you thought I said anything wrong in this episode, please tweet me, because I would love to get in an argument with somebody over my ethics of the topics discussed in this episode. Thank you for listening. Bye. Have a good week, and try hard.